If Cloud gets controlled by Genova and is made to be a final boss or a major boss, who's gonna be strong enough to stand up against him? Who's gonna stop him from losing all control? Especially, how strong is the reunion Cloud? Could we get someone stronger on our team? Who knows? Find out in this video.
Your theory isn't wrong. Though Sephiroth was born and birthed by a human woman, a beautiful woman, the Shinra scientist, Lucretia Crescent, with Genova cells, so your theory isn't wrong. Because most of Sephiroth's DNA comes from Genova's cells.
There's someone in the Shinra company that is very mysterious, with missing files outside of the ones in Crisis Core. Someone who's been in Nibelheim for a long time ago. The one who saw it all started. There's one man, one Turk, that tried to prevent all this from happening. You know the man. The summon you get out of the safe. With the coffin key, with the casket key. There's only one man we know of those things. You even see a glimpse of it in Crisis Core. The one man sleeping in a casket. The eternal Crimson Phantom Nibelheim vampire. This man's very important. Vincent Valentine. There's a reason why he's so important. He's important to the plot because there's so many factors that can actually counteract Genova's power and influence. Not to mention, Vincent is possessed with these powerful weapons that lived long ago. But also, how powerful Vincent is, with all the monster transfusions and the immortal body that Hojo gave him. Also the knowledge of everything that's transpired in early Shinra years. And just like Rufus, his knowledge is connected to ancients as well. As you see in the Avid Children movie, Vincent went to the Lost Woods to get more information about Kadash. So he's another person connected to the mystic alignment of things as well, just like Rufus Shinra. So that would also make him a little bit more important. His knowledge as well. There's even some stuff that Rufus don't know that Vincent would know. Not only have had work in the company earlier and been around since the Genova Project, been around when Professor Gast and Hojo were classifying life forms as ancients. But it's also the fact that Vince is possessed by chaos. And chaos is a life form that lived long ago. I believe Rufus was actually the cornerstone of Vincent's gameplay in Rebirth. The Dirge Server's gameplay was tested with the Rufus boss battle, the gun kata that Vincent will use, like he used in Dirge Service, will make a comeback, and Rufus is really just a mere template of what Vincent will be. Another opposite, but different, gameplay-wise. So there was already a tease that Vincent's gonna be in this remake continuity, just never in part 1 to keep the story together. But I believe that Vincent will come a little earlier than normal. considering everything's out of whack in the timeline. After Cloud defeated the Whispers, it caused a whole bunch of problems. Also, it could be the fact that also the Whispers contacted Vincent to keep the timeline and everything together. It's not just Zack. Zack's not the only one that was probably contacted by the Whispers. If Vincent has knowledge of the mystical alignment in Gaia, it is safe to say that the Whispers have gone to Vincent as well. So this version of Vincent Valentine will most likely be able to see the future as well. All the events. So there won't be no misgivings of him having to kill Sephiroth, knowing that Sephiroth is far too gone. And you're going to need someone as powerful and smart as Vincent with an immortal body to fight both Sephiroth and Jenova. So that's why he's another reason why he's an important character. Because his history with Shinra will take you places. Will also be a key factor of everything that goes on. Because in this part will be the chase for Sephiroth. But the timeline is altered. Not to mention other things have happened inside the remake. Other infractions of Universal Multiverse collapse. And it was all because of Sephiroth. So, you know, they're going to have a lot more power on their team. And who else but the man not only saw this, but the man who's been experimented to be an immortal vampire Turk hybrid that harbors chaos and could transform into chaos. Plus, chaos itself is a staple in Final Fantasy, very important in Final Fantasy. The reason why chaos is important in Final Fantasy is he's a cornerstone. If the world got too evil or there's too much darkness in the world, chaos will reform each and every time. So Vincent's form, chaos, is also a force of nature. So that would mean because he's a force of nature, this will also aid in the Whisper's goals right after their death, besides Zack. Maybe to start a life over. Even possible that Chaos might be a boss we had to fight and earn Vincent. And this will go into the life forms. Lucretia Crescent, Sephiroth, Jenova, Professor Gas. It's all connected. It all makes sense. The whole project, Hojo, and then there's also Dirge's Cerberus elements. Genesis. I still believe that Genesis has found a way to go back in time and send Sephiroth from the future to the past. Because if you remember Dirge's Cerberus, there was a chillin' export that Genesis has said.
Not yet time for slumber. We still have much work to do. My brother.
With those chillin' words. That could also be the reason why Deep Ground has been introduced early, and Vincent was the one who decommissioned Deep Ground after beating Vice and Omega Weiss. So another reason why we're going to need Vincent, if Genesis is somewhat involved, it's going to take more than Zack to fix everything. You're going to be fighting 3 or 4 bosses, all 3 Sephiroths, Jenova, Genesis, and Deep Ground. And since an episode intermission, which I do not unfortunately have, because I'm not buying the digital copy to get the episode, but that I will still be playing episode intermission when it does come out. But Deep Ground has been introduced in Yuffie's story earlier than it should have. And that's because the collapse of the multiverse thanks to Sephiroth's decisions. So with all these foes that's coming out, plus everything in the original Final Fantasy VII, even the side antagonists, we're gonna need a lot more help to fix everything. Then there's also the fact that Genova might be the final boss. Or the fact that Tifa is an imposter and messing with Cloud's head. Reunion Cloud might be a boss, whether it's a different multiverse Cloud or our Cloud gets possessed by Genova. We're gonna need someone like Vincent to fight Cloud to knock Cloud back to his senses. But there's also the fact that he would also be a great asset to help fight future Sephiroth for how powerful future Sephiroth was. That he can create his entire dimension without even being in his safer Sephiroth form. So maybe we'll get it where Vincent can control chaos. We'll train Vincent to control chaos. After we beat chaos, we'll probably maybe the proto material will come a little later on in his life instead of earlier. We get the proto material from Lucretia to save Vincent. And then with his controlled and combined power of the control feral chaos he used against Weiss empowered boss will be enough to beat these forces. Vincent will be the character to turn the tables. He will be the character to fix the multiverse that Sephiroth has started. He will be that guy. He is that guy. Just like just like in the original continuity where he defeated Deep Ground, stop Omega, and put an end to the last secret organization of Shinra. This Vincent's gonna be way more important than he ever was in any continuity. Just like how Yuffie was important because of the Wutai War and Deep Ground. Why would they bring back Deep Ground if they don't plan on putting Vincent in the game? Doesn't make sense. Vincent was the one who defeated Deep Ground. And the fact that Crisis Core Rebirth is a remake of Crisis Core with remake assets. There's a reason why this is. It's all interconnected because the Final Fantasy VII multiverse is expansive. So expansive that it's going to take someone who can not only later on control chaos once we train him to do it, but also turn the tables with the information he has, with all the powers he has. This, with Vincent and Zack at our side, let alone, this can turn the tide. This could turn the tides of Final Fantasy VII remake verse together, while also making a fighting chance we got to fight the three most powerful threats that Gaia's offer, because Shinra does not even count. Because really, Shinra's a threat, but not as much as Sephiroth's, all the Sephiroths, Genova, and Genesis. And we're still gonna have to fight Genesis, and we're still gonna have to fight Deep Ground. So we need someone with the power that Vincent has to do that. And if that's the case, maybe Omega might be a thing in the remake timeline. After you defeat all the other weapons, you might have to fight the super boss Omega weapon. Because if they're no longer optional like the Yuffie and Vincent are, and the weapons are actually or the weapons you have to fight with the summon Odin and all the other summons, that means Omega weapons in this timeline as well. And may the crystal be with you. Like and subscribe. Do all that nice things.